Stegman Coliseum, the home of the NCAA defending gymnastic champion Georgia Gym Dogs. Tonight they close out the SEC regular season looking to finish the slate once again undefeated and remain perfect against the Arkansas Gymbacks. SEC Gymnastics starts now. We welcome you to Athens, Georgia, the home of the Georgia Gym Dogs, who are looking to close out their conference schedule a perfect 5-0. They've won their last 7 meets in a row, and tonight they take on the Arkansas Gymbacks. Bernie got there with you here inside Stegman Coliseum. Georgia looking for their 3rd straight year that they finished their season for Suzanne Yocklin undefeated in SEC play. Meanwhile, Renee Cook, the Arkansas head coach, looking for a signature win tonight against Georgia. Let's check in with Lori Strong-Ballard for more.
The SEC Gymnastics Championships are only a few weeks away, so this is a crucial time of the year for both Georgia and Arkansas in terms of continuing to peak and solidifying their strongest lineups and routines. And all systems are go for Georgia, who are the 3-time defending national champions and return just as much talent this year. They're ranked #1 in the country and the best on both bars and floor. And the great news for Georgia is they return some key athletes to their lineups. Katie Heenan will add floor to her repertoire, where she's been sidelined most of the season because of 2 herniated discs. And the 2004 Olympian Courtney McCool will compete on bars for the first time in her collegiate career and the first time since those Olympic Games. And the defending national all-around champion Courtney Kupets is back in the all-around lineup after a few injuries have slowed her down over the last couple weeks. So things look extremely bright for the Georgia Gym Dogs, but with the postseason only a few weeks away, head coach Suzanne Yocklin says there's still work to be done.
It's amazing how fast we've flown through this season, and we just have this crazy puzzle going on, and it's just not fitting. You know, it's like we get some of it put together and then it breaks apart, and it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride with the individual girls on the team. You know, it's like Tiffany's having trouble and then she gets it together, and then Courtney's having trouble, and Katie's not in the all-around, then Katie's back in the all-around, and McCool, she's been really our main steady Eddie the entire season. But you know, it's just a little bit of a mishmash in terms of coming together, in terms of peaking, which, you know, that's fine because we don't need to peak until April.
The SEC is considered by many the premier conference in the nation, so even a #1 team cannot take a single meet for granted. At last year's dual meet between Georgia and Arkansas, only 0-5 separated these two teams, so Arkansas is very optimistic about their chances tonight, and they have a great opportunity not only to test their team against the #1 team in the nation, but to get some experience here at Stegman Coliseum, where later next month the national championships will be held.
Definitely been talked about this week. You know, remember, this is where nationals is, and furthermore, you know, we're coming to Atlanta for SEC, so you know that we can be here 3 times basically. You know, we want to have Georgia fans behind us at nationals if we're not in their session, you know, so we want to make impression on the fans so they can, you know, have another team to maybe root for when we're not head to head. So, you know, we've kind of talked about those things. You know, it's exciting time. It's obviously a great venue to be in, and you know, if we do our job, we should hopefully be back here in April.
This is the final SEC matchup for both Georgia and Arkansas, and a great opportunity to make those final preparations before the postseason. It should be a great one, Bernie.
Georgia coming off posting their highest score of the season, a 197.675 against Kentucky. They'll try to better that tonight as they take on the Arkansas Gymbacks. It's Georgia-Arkansas tonight. Earlier tonight, the 3-time defending national champion Georgia Gym Dogs being led onto the floor here at Stegman Coliseum. They will take on 11th ranked Arkansas in the Gymbacks, who are very good against them at home a season ago. But as we lead things for the bar, Lori, they are going to need a big effort here.
Absolutely. Arkansas's highest score of the year on this event was a 49, and that's about an average of a 9.8. They will need scores above 49 on every event to compete with Georgia. And both Emily Peacock and Allison Daniels are known for their great bar work.
And their co-head coaches Renee and Mark Cook very close to the goal they set forth for the 2008 season.
We've set a goal of being in the top 10. You know, that's our team goal. And we've been doing that you know, most of the season, you know, and so I think if we do what we're capable of, that's a reality for us, you know, but of course you have to do it under pressure every week and get the job done, especially in postseason. But I feel like we have the ability, we have the mindset, and I certainly know we've been working hard enough. So it's exciting to see it all come together.
The SEC is an amazing conference. I love being a part of the SEC. I mean, every week we get to go up against the best teams in the nation, and to have so many teams ranked so highly overall is an amazing, and it's great experience to compete against all those teams.
As an athlete, they have the opportunity to compete against the best in the nation week after week, and that only makes them stronger.
Emily Peacock will lead things off for them on bars. A senior from San Antonio. She tied for the bars title in the second meet of the year against LSU.
She currently holds Arkansas's record on this event of a 9.95, which she scored as a freshman. Big combination here. Line change, Healy into her Jaeger, well done. Back salto down to the low bar. The gymnast must have a minimum of 2 bar changes. Athletes here are working on getting those handstands in the vertical position to avoid a deduction, and the dismount, double layout, nails the landing. Of course, that's always a great thing.
A beautiful routine for the senior.
Excellent start for Arkansas. Emily is very well prepared on this event, and it shows in her aggressive style in that first combination, the Healy into the Jaeger.
Just off her career best, a 9.875. And let's take a look now at the Georgia vault lineup.
Georgia's currently ranked 3rd in the nation, but even so, this is the event they have struggled on in terms of depth, so that puts the pressure on the second half of the lineup. Katie is usually very clean, and Courtney Kupets is the defending national champion.
Here's their freshman, Cassidy McComb.
He's coming to Georgia. Cassidy has upgraded her difficulty on this event. She does one of the toughest vaults that you can compete at the college level. Yurchenko, 1.5 twist, and nails the landing. Absolutely outstanding.
She's coming off her first all-around title of her career against Kentucky.
Yeah, as a freshman, she's doing a fantastic job. Now, with the 1.5, you cannot hold back. You must be aggressive, and her technique is good, and that is how she gets such a strong landing.
Wow, 9.925 the score for Cassidy McComb. And back to the bars we go, and Casey Jo McGee, the sophomore from Eugene, Oregon.
And Georgia just turned up the heat with that last vault, so now it's up to Arkansas to respond with this routine. A little short on that first handstand.
Well, McGee has scored a 9.9 once this season. It was against Kentucky.
Beautiful job and a giant full into a pike to delta. 1.5 to straddle back. Again, just slightly short of that handstand. But the skills in the routine have been strong. Nice dismount, full in back out, tiny hop on the landing. Now, this is a release skill called a delchev, so you're going to do a half turn release into a front pike. She adds extra difficulty by doing it in the pike position.
And a score of a 9.825, so a good start for Arkansas. We'll get our look at Georgia's best gymnast when we come back. Back in Athens, Georgia. Georgia taking on Arkansas, final regular season meet of the SEC slate. And getting set is Courtney Kupets, who's really had an up and down junior campaign.
The school schedule has really been a huge adjustment for Courtney this year, and she's such a perfectionist and such a great student, you know, close to a 4.0. She's not willing to, I'm like, just get a B, Courtney, and, you know, be you in the gym, but she can't do that.
And add to it the fact that Courtney suffered a concussion a few weeks ago and has been competing only on a few events recently. And this week her Achilles has been tender. She loves to compete and is slated on 4 events tonight. Doing Yurchenko half on front pike, nails the landing. Outstanding job. She does such a good job of really popping this vault up off of that vaulting table. Beautiful height and distance. Now, of course, she is the defending national champion on this event, and it shows right here, especially with that stuck landing. But, you know, her sister has one up on her. She has scored a perfect 10. Ashley Kupets scored a perfect 10 on this event last year. Very
close, though. A 9.975 for the 2-time NCAA all-around champion.
And, of course, being the perfectionist that she is, I'm sure that perfect 10 is one of her goals.
Back to the bars, and Allison Daniels up next. She's coming off her best bars performance of the season. She set a career high against Auburn, a 9.85 last week.
There's a combination of elements here, a line change into a Jaeger. The routine must have a minimum of 2 release elements in order to not receive a deduction for not being up to the level of competition, and at least one of those release elements must be of a D level, which that Jaeger was. And the dismount, double layout, well done on the landing.
And a nice finish for Arkansas as Daniels was the anchor on the routine.
Not a huge amount of difficulty in this routine, but enough to give her the 10-0 start value. This is a good choice of a dismount. The double layout has no twisting in it. It's high in difficulty and allows you to get a good look at the floor before the landing.
And a score of a 9.875, and Arkansas gets the 49 you asked for.
This is a new season high for Arkansas. Allison Daniels really came through as the anchor with a career best performance.
Up next, Katie Heenan. She's bounced back from injuries, and this is the first time she's competed in the all-around this season.
I have 2 herniated discs in my back, and so we've been very cautious and just tentative of getting back into the lineup in the all-around, but taking the right measures, and so far it's been great. We've been doing all the right things, right therapy, right cardio, exercises, everything, to be in the best shape I possibly can to stay healthy. And so tonight, doing all-around, I'm so excited. It's a good feeling just to get back into that groove of things. And so hopefully we can keep doing the right things and continue with all around.
They are right on track with Katie. They need her at her best and healthy in the postseason. And here on vault, Katie is in a good position for a big score. Her teammates have set her up with very high marks so far, 9.975 from Courtney Coupette's earlier. She does the Yurchenko layout full. Look at the distance she gets on that vault. It's absolutely powerful and an amazingly clean landing.
Gorgeous.
Fantastic start. Now with the full twist versus the 1.5, where she almost have to stall your rotation, she does a great job of blocking her chest up, but keeping her feet behind her slightly. That gives her the height, the distance, and a good landing.
And the score? A perfect 10.
This is what every gymnast dreams of, that perfect 10. It is the ultimate score, and that is why they put in hours and hours into the gym.
And it catapults Georgia to a huge score, 49.575.
And a new season high for Georgia, a 9.975 from the national champ, and a perfect 10 from Katie. What more could you ask for?
The first perfect 10 posted by Georgia since Ashley Coupette had a 10 on the vault a season ago against Michigan. It's brought Georgia to the lead over Arkansas. 0.4 of a point, the lead for Georgia over Arkansas after one rotation, and now the Gymbacks move on to the vault.
They should be in a good position mentally after strong bars. They need to feed off of that adrenaline and make these vaults big, but also be aware of good landings. Samantha Cortez tied her career high last week with a 9.9. More like that will help keep them on Georgia's tail.
It'll be Casey Jo McGee, and she said 2 9.85s her last 2 attempts.
Chenko half front layout. Well done on the landing. Great discipline in that landing position, bending the knees, absorbing some of that power, and getting the arms out to balance the landing. This vault is scored out of a 10, and it has a blind landing, so you don't actually see the mat before the feet hit, and that makes sticking that landing even more difficult.
Score of 9.85. So it's 3 meets in a row, a 9.85 for Casey Jo McGee. And now the Gym Dogs moving to the bars.
Georgia's ranked #1 in the country on this event. And over the years, they've had many national champions here, including Coupette, who won in 2006 and is currently ranked #1 in the country. And the big news here is McCool will compete on bars for the first time in her collegiate career, the first time since the 2004 Olympics. For Courtney, it's been a long road back.
Going through those 2 years of not doing anything on my wrist, and some of the doctors and some of the people not thinking I'll ever do bars again or vault or anything like that. And before my surgery, I was like, they told me I might not do gymnastics, and I'm doing gymnastics, and I would like to be on bars again, so whatever you do, just try to fix it. And they did an incredible job and has brought me to where I am today.
That is pure determination. Nicole had a bone disease that caused a breakdown in the bone in her wrist. Surgeries and long rehab later, she's finally back. But you know, head coach on bars, Jay Clark, says he still needs to be careful with this athlete.
She brings a lot to the squad as an Olympic silver medalist.
Absolutely, incredible experience and impeccable form and style. Now that skill there, the bail to handstand puts incredible stress and pressure on the wrist, and they have to be careful with the number of repetitions they do of that element. Big dismount planned here, a full twisting double layout. She sticks the landing. What a great comeback routine. Again, we saw her impeccable lines that she's known for on both beam and floor. Now it's here on bars, and that exclamation point, that huge, difficult dismount.
After a couple of years off, 9.925. What a great comeback for Courtney McCool, who's certainly glad to be back on bars. And we head back to the vault and Samantha Cortez.
Again, Arkansas looking for solid, clean landings here, trying to gain as many points as possible. We'll give away as few as possible. Tiny hop on the landing, about a 1/10 deduction right there. Samantha does a great job of really getting a strong block. You can see her actually rock the vaulting table as she blocks into the air. She has a slight pike down in the hips, and that causes her to over-rotate and take the hop.
A score of a 9.850. We're off to a good start in rotation 2. We'll continue with the action right after this. Three-time defending national champion Georgia Gym Dogs at home at Stegman Coliseum, #1 in the country and #1 on this apparatus. And they have Grace Taylor, who's currently ranked 10th in the country on the bars.
Season high is a 9.9, career high is a 9.925. It's a pretty and very interesting routine. Hop change to reverse grip, endo, circle half, bail to handstand down to the low bar, continues with the connection, Stalder, back up to the high bar. There's a very unique element. It's called a Comaneci Salto, named after Nettie Comaneci, the 1976 Olympic champion. Dismount double layout, has to take a hop on the landing, but a solid routine throughout.
Her scoring average as a freshman was the best in the Southeastern Conference.
This is the Comaneci Salto. It's quick, but very fun to watch.
A score of 9.875 for Grace Taylor. Back to the vault at Sarah Nagashima.
Also performing the Yurchenko layout full vault. Another strong landing for Arkansas. This should be another high 9.8 score. The judges want to see a near vertical lift from the vaulting table. She does a pretty good job there. Nice form in the air, keeping her legs glued together and the straight body position. 9.875.
And for the second time tonight, Arkansas has at least a 49.
They've been coming on much stronger on vault over the last couple of weeks, just in time for the postseason coming up.
And now the #1 gymnast on this apparatus in the country, Courtney Kupets, a former U.S. Olympic team member.
And this is an event that she has scored a perfect 10 on in the past. She mounts with a Shaposhnikova from a toe-on position. Directly connects it, back down to the low bar, back up to the high bar. This routine is packed full of skills. Some big release elements coming up here. Hop full to Tkachev. Athletes are required to do 2 release elements, at least one of them of a D level, but she does 4 major, those high D and E level release skills in this routine. Dismount, very clean, double layout dismount. Fantastic routine. This is absolutely brilliant from start to finish. In terms of composition, in terms of the difficulty of this routine, and the form is impeccable. This is one of her combinations to the release elements. Actually, there's 2 release elements in a row, a hop full to a Tkachev.
A big reason why Georgia won the national championship a season ago. Courtney Kupets, you see her score a 9.95 and a 49.5 for Georgia.
Outstanding score. Nikki Childs had the throwaway score, and it was still a strong routine. Georgia's depth there is amazing.
And Georgia building on their lead after 2 rotations. Georgia with a big lead over Arkansas after 2 rotations, but Arkansas has done very well now as the Gym Packs receiving some last-minute instructions from Renee Cook getting set for the floor.
Both teams are well on their way to posting very high team scores. Now for Arkansas, they're ranked 8th in the country on floor, and in terms of difficulty, they don't take much risk, so they will be looking for clean, consistent routines. Emily Peacock is usually very showy and likes to have a great time on floor.
First up, we'll see Michelle Stout, top floor scorer in 2008, a 9.825.
And that came just last week, where she also set a career best in the all-around. She's been coming on very strong in the last few weeks. Getting set for her first tumbling pass. Powerful run into a clean double pike and a nice landing. NCAA head coach Renee Cook told me her team is balanced. They have a few great all-arounders like Michelle here and Casey Jo McGee, but everyone is contributing. There are no glaring weaknesses, and that's a good thing. Second tumbling pass. Another double salto, this time in the tuck position, and another pretty strong landing.
Well, the Cooks have done a great job of building this program from the ground up.
Absolutely. It is amazing what they've done. Year after year, they just get a little bit better, and that means that they can recruit better athletes. They do a pretty strong quality of gymnastics. They don't go over and above what the athletes are capable of. They're pretty clean and consistent, and that is paying off this year. Front full to a front pike. Three clean tumbling passes, not huge difficulty, but a consistent and strong routine, and that is what they're looking for.
And a clean start for Michelle Stout as we take another look.
This opening pass is a double pike. It's a D-level skill, which means she gets 1/10 a bonus. The athletes are looking for at least 5/10 a bonus to get that 10-0 start value.
And a score of a 9.775 for Michelle Stout. And we move back to Georgia now, who has moved to beam.
This is the one event that Suzanne Yoklin says they have underperformed on recently. She has very high expectations for them. They are extremely talented on beam. And last week, she took Katie Heenan and Courtney Kupets out of the lineup. Courtney was still recovering from a concussion. So this lineup is more like the one that we'll see in the championships, both the SECs and the national championships, with Katie as leadoff and McCool anchoring. This could be a huge score for Georgia, but clean hits are a must.
Katie Heenan to lead things off. Remember, this is the first time this season that she has competed in the all-around, coming back from having 2 herniated discs over the summer.
Physically, it is definitely an increased workload, but for an athlete who is used to competing in the all-around, mentally, it may be better for her. A little bit of a wobble, though, on her back handspring layout.
She won the SEC beam title as a freshman.
Beautiful straddle jump to a sheet jump. Another mental switch that Katie had to take this year is going from the anchor position to lead-off position. Bit of a wobble there on her front tuck. A few uncharacteristic bobbles throughout this routine so far. Preparing for the dismount here. Using the full length of the beam. Big strong hurdle into a round off double twist, clean landing, just slightly off throughout the routine tonight.
She has 2 regional beam championships to go along with that SEC title.
Front tuck here. This is usually very solid for Katie. You can see she drops her right shoulder slightly on the landing, but she's done so many reps of that skill, she was able to hold on and not take a fall.
Score of 9.8, not a bad start for Heenan, who is getting set to complete the all-around. We move back to the floor, and Casey Jo McGee set a career best against Kentucky 2 meets ago. Score of 9.85 on the floor exercise.
A solid meet so far tonight, opening with a round off 2.5 twist to a front tuck. Heading into her dance series here. 2 leaps in connection, and one of them must be of a C level. Arkansas obviously would like to get the win tonight, but there is more to it. They could get a strong away score, and that would boost their RQS, which is their regional qualifying score. Second tumbling pass and solid double back. Now, to calculate your regional qualifying score, you take your 6 top scores. 3 of them must be away. You drop the highest and average the rest. That will give the teams their rankings into regionals. Top 18 teams will be seeded. We heard Arkansas head coach Renee Cook mention that they wanted to remain in the top 10.
And they've hit 249 plus as a team so far in their first two rotations.
Again, very strong score so far. And an excellent routine for Casey Jo McGee. This is her opening tumbling pass. She receives difficulty bonus for this element, the 2.5 twist. It's a D, but then she also gets combination bonus by adding the front salto to it.
And a score of a 9.825 for Casey Jo McGee. And Tiffany Tolnay up next, the junior from Grapevine, Texas. Her father played football at Arkansas, so dad having to root the other way today.
The athletic ability runs in the family. Is extremely competitive. Beautiful switch side, hitting that 180-degree split. Slated to compete in the all-around tonight. This is her third event. Solid back handspring layout, adding the smile. Suzanne says she's probably one of the most under-recognized athletes on this team. She's always in the shadows of Katie Heenan and Courtney Coupetts, but you have to keep in mind, as a freshman, she was 4th in the all-around at the national championships, and last year she was 3rd at NCAAs. So far, an extremely solid routine, and her form has been beautiful. Straight legs and pointed toes on every skill. Little under split on that series of loops and jumps. Very pretty legs, long and muscular, and that shows off nicely on this event. Switch leap into a gainer full dismount. Just a tiny movement of the foot on the landing. Great routine though. Again, the difficulty in the routine was nice. We saw the tumble series here, which is a requirement. 2 flight elements connected, back handspring layout, solid, no wobbles.
And her score on the beam, a 9.875. So thus far, the Gym Dogs have been very effective on the beam. They'll continue in rotation 3 after this. Back in Athens, Renee Cook chatting with her Arkansas gymnasts. Her and her husband, Mark Cook, one of several husband and wife coaching tandems in the SEC. We're continuing with rotation 3. And up next for the Georgia Gym Dogs, Grace Taylor on the beam.
And love the mount. It's similar to the one that a Romanian gymnast by the name of Daniela Silvas made very popular in the late 80s.
She's coming off setting a new career high in the beam 2 weeks ago against Auburn.
Excellent tumble series there. 1 arm back handspring to a layout 2 foot. Adding the 1 arm back handspring makes it a little more unique, increases the difficulty. Beautiful job on her switch leap to straddle jump, showing off her flexibility once again here. When she is on, she is extremely beautiful on this event. As a freshman, she was 2nd at the NCAAs. Full turn leg at horizontal into a gainer layout, done perfect. Going off a forward element, it's a front aerial, slight bobble there. To stay focused, listening to her teammates cheer her on from the sidelines. Always helps make you feel at home on that balance beam. 2 back handsprings to a double full dismount. Excellent routine, outstanding. This routine was extremely well balanced from start to finish in terms of tumbling difficulty. The dance elements like the full turn leg above horizontal into the gainer layout, and of course this dismount. By tumbling into the double full, she increases the difficulty.
And a big score, a 9.925, the first time that Georgia has a 9.9 or better on the beam tonight. Emily Peacock is up next for the gym backs on the floor exercise.
pass. Again, a double pike clean. She holds it inbounds. For showing off her great personality. She always looks like she's having a great time out there, and that's important.
Last year against Georgia, she scored a 9-9 in the meet. That's her career high. So far, she's accomplished it once this season against Penn State. It was very early on in the year. But building towards the end, very important.
This is the time of year these teams want to start solidifying those lineups and begin to peak, to really show their confidence on every event. Both teams have done a great job of that tonight. Her teammates are on the sidelines, dancing alongside with her. That shows great team chemistry and camaraderie. It's also a lot of fun as well. There's one final tumbling pass planned. Most of the gymnasts do 3 tumbling passes, and they must show at least 3 different types of saltos in a routine. A deep breath. Endurance is so important for this final tumbling pass. Double back. Little step out on the landing of that final tumbling pass, but a pretty strong routine for Emily Peacock. She starts the routine with a D-level skill. Not huge difficulty. Some of the best teams in the country will start with E-level skills, but she also finishes with a D-level skill, so that shows a nice balance throughout the routine.
9.875 for Emily Peacock, and for the gym backs on the floor, 49.1.
Again, another score over 49, but you know, Georgia continues to up them by a few tenths with each routine. But the balance of consistency was strong for Arkansas here.
And they will finish very strong on the beam. And Courtney McCool, SEC Gymnast of the Week earlier in the year, she scored a pair of 9.975s against LSU.
Courtney says this is her favorite event, and it's one that she has her stamp on. This mount is called the McCool, a skill named after her after she competed it at the 2004 Olympic Games. Nice job on her front aerial. She connects it to her series by handspring layout. Now Georgia's Grace Taylor put up a huge score, but then Courtney Coupette's fell on her mount, so there is added pressure on McCool here. She must hit if Georgia does not want to count a fall on this event.
Yeah, Coupette scored just 9.4.
6 athletes compete, 5 scores count towards the team score, so right now they can drop that 9.4. Full turn, leg up. Nice job on her switch side. Courtney has incredible basics on this event. You can see that she was very well trained as a club athlete. She has incredible toe point, and she works the beam very high on her toes in releve position. That just adds a little class to the routine. Dismount, solid round off double twist, nails the landing.
The former Olympian with a big close to Georgia's efforts on the beam.
She's just beautiful up there on the balance beam. She really stands out, even amongst the very talented athletes on this Georgia team. Now there's that McCool mount. In order to have it named after you, you have to be the first to compete it at Olympic or World Championships.
Oh, look at the score, 9.925 for Georgia, who scores a 49.325. Not bad for an apparatus you're trying to work on.
There were some highlights on this event, especially Grace and Courtney's routine, but after an uncharacteristic error by Coupette, who was the national champion on this event, their score was pulled down just slightly.
Georgia looking good to try to complete the SEC slate undefeated tonight at home. They've got a big lead over Arkansas after 3 rotations. 3-time defending NCAA champion Georgia Gym Dogs getting the weight put on for them as they have a chance to be the first team in 2008 to score 198 points.
Only a handful of teams have ever done that in this sport, and Georgia's well on their way to a big score here. On floor, they have a great combination of different styles and personalities and strong difficulty, and they're always extra entertaining when competing in front of the home crowd. And of course, Katie Heenan debuted her routine for them last week. It's good to have her back in this lineup, and she's having a fantastic night tonight, starting off the night with that perfect 10 on vault, and coming back with strong performances on both bars and beam. We look forward to her finishing up her first competition in the all-around tonight.
And Lori, how important is she in the all-around? Last year she won the SEC all-around during the championship. She also won it as a freshman. She is the first two-time gym dog since Kim Arnold did it in 97 and 98 to win 2 SEC all-around titles.
Anytime you are compared to the great Kim Arnold, that's pretty good company. Opening with a front double twist to a punch front. Getting ready for her second tumbling pass. A double pike. Beautiful position in the air on that double pike. New choreography this year, new music. She debuted it in front of the home crowd last week. She told me she was a little bit nervous, but very excited to do so.
And what a night for Katie Heenan. It began with a perfect 10 on the vault.
Staff says that Katie is the glue that holds this team together. She has such great personality, and we see that come out in her choreography throughout the floor team. If you haven't been competing floor all year, this is the most difficult tumbling pass. Endurance is so important. Not a problem for Katie. She is in great form right now.
What a night for Katie Heenan. Put herself in a good position for her 13th career all-around title. Only Casey Jo McGee could catch her.
Katie showed strong forward and backward tumbling here with her second pass, a double pike. It was clean and high.
And a score, 9.925, so she has won the all-around title, her 13th of her career, with a 39.6. And Mark Cook looking on as his squad is now up on the beam.
Traditionally, beam is one of Arkansas's best events. They will need some consistency here. That means no falls, a minimum of wobbles, and clean form. 2 seniors are in this lineup. The rest are young underclassmen, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle the nerves here.
And one of those seniors is up first, and Samantha Cortez, who has scored a season-high 9.8 her last 2 times out versus both Auburn and Kentucky.
To a one-arm back handspring. A nice rhythm through her dance. Looking confident. Focus before her front aerial. And thinking through every element, and she's off the beam on her wolf 3/4. That is a half a point deduction.
What went wrong for Samantha there?
Well, anytime you add twist to a jump, that increases the difficulty. She simply dropped her chest on the landing and was off tonight. Handspring layout, combination into her dismount to a full twist. Tough break first up for Arkansas now. This adds pressure to the rest of the team. You can see her there. Her front leg is a little low at the end of the 3/4 twisting jump. Then her chest topples forward. There was no way that she could save it.
A season high her last 2 times out. She will have to settle for a 9.325 tonight. And back to the floor in Cassidy McComb.
Cassidy McComb won the all-around title last week. She is having a fantastic freshman year. Certainly an athlete who will be up for SEC Freshman of the Year later this season, opening with a clean double pike. Element right there, a triple turn, well done. front layout, gaining combination bonus. A nice ballet style in those leaps and jumps and choreography here. Great personality. Showing off the routine very nicely. All right, there's Suzanne Yochlin in the corner cheering her on. Talk about a little extra incentive heading into that final tumbling pass. You don't miss this one. Round off, back handspring, 2.5 twist, front tuck, hits the landing. Nice strong difficulty at the end of a routine. Fantastic job.
A beautiful routine for the freshman Cassidy McComb.
I love the personality and the choreography throughout the routine, the smiles, the drama that she brings to this routine. And of course, the tumbling is strong as well. She opened with a very clean double pike. And the final tumbling pass, she kind of pushes the envelope a little bit by making it a 2.5 twist versus a double and adding the punch front for combination bonus.
A score of another 9 or better. In fact, this one 9.925. So the Gym Dogs a chance at that elusive score of 198. Courtney Kupets will be on floor when we come back. Back at Stegman Coliseum, Lori Strong-Ballard, Bernie Gunther with you. SEC Gymnastics, Georgia taking on Arkansas. And now it's Courtney Kupets, the nation's leading all-arounder, due up next on the floor.
This is the one event that she doesn't have a national title on. She was national champion on beam and bars her freshman year and on vault last year. She has the ability to do that here. Opening tumbling pass is a difficult one, an E-level skill, double Arabian, and she pulls out. Something went terribly wrong. You can see she's in incredible pain here. She's grabbing at the back of her right ankle. You can see it's heavily bandaged. She's had some tenderness in her Achilles tendon throughout the week, and she's dealt with some injuries. Let's take a look at what went wrong. This is the double Arabian, that opening tumbling pass. She has more than enough power usually to make this to her feet, so something happens here on the takeoff. She doesn't get enough height to complete the 2 forward rotations there, and of course you see she bails out and lands on her behind and quickly grabs at that back of that ankle. Suzanne Yochlin out on the floor.
And she's visibly shaken up at the injury from her team leader.
What a tough break for Courtney Kupets. She tore her Achilles tendon on the left foot at the 2003 World Championships. And then, you know, her sister tore her Achilles tendon before the National Championships last year. And now this possibly could be a season-ending injury for Courtney Kupets.
She's being carried off into the training room for further evaluation. Of course, we'll let you know as soon as we get word. We'll move on to the beam now. And Casey Jo McGee.
Casey has a lot to think about in this routine. She must concentrate through the distraction of Courtney's injury. And of course, block out the pressure from a teammate's fall earlier in the lineup and a few routines with some wobbles tonight.
She's been very consistent on this apparatus, posting 9.8s or higher in every meet since the first of the season.
Consistency is key on this event. Beautiful, aggressive round-off layout, step out. Risky double turn right there, a D-level skill, 1/10 the bonus. Athletes are required to do at least a full turn, but she ups the difficulty by making it a double turn. Teammates telling her to take her time and to stay with it. She wants to focus and think through every single element and skill without getting ahead of herself. Dismount. A solid, clean, round-off, double twist. Great routine, way to focus through all these distractions. Casey Jo has had a fantastic night today. 4 solid events. She should have a strong all-around score. Showing a nice aerial.
And a score of 9.875, so she finished second in the all-around with a score of 39.375. Arkansas does not break the 49 barrier, though, on the beam.
They can do better than this. The pressure was already intense in this competition, and a fall first up doesn't help.
And finally on the floor, Courtney McCool, who has either won outright or shared the floor title in every meet but one this season.
It's always tough to compete after a teammate injures themselves. It's all part of the sport. Especially tough for McCool, who has a close bond with Courtney Kupets. They were on the 2004 Olympic team together. Now they compete as teammates here at Georgia.
And maybe a little bit of extra pressure for her because Kupets has no score.
Absolutely, that means that 100% of McCool's score will count towards that team finish. I think that Georgia pretty much has this win nailed down. Whip to a clean double twist, and again, we're going to see that beautiful form and technique from Courtney McCool. With a very strong dance background, her attention to details is fantastic. Every time the foot lifts off the floor, it is pointed, and a beautiful point that is. Legs are glued together in her tumbling. So far it looks like business as usual for Courtney McCool and her Flora team. She's ranked #1 in the country, and this is why, finishing with a front double full, one of the most difficult front tumbling passes you can do. An excellent comeback for Georgia. Courtney McCool has had a fantastic night tonight, competing on 3 events. For the first time, she competed on bars. She also had strong beam and now a great floor team to finish the competition.
Georgia Gym Dogs huddling their concern. The initial report on Courtney Kupets is that it looks like she has torn her Achilles tendon and she will be out for the rest of the season.
What a tough break for Courtney, but I guess the good news is she still has her senior year next year. This is a big loss for Georgia. They win this meet, but they will have to find a way to replace Courtney on 4 events, especially on vault, where they lack depth already.
And for Arkansas, they were 1 rotation away from a great result.
And for Georgia, I have no doubt they can still lead the SEC and challenge for a national title, but this will be an emotional challenge as well. Courtney means so much to this team.
They got great leadership tonight out of Katie Heenan, all-around champion, and a perfect 10 on the vault. For Lori Strong-Ballard, I'm Bernie Gunther. Good night from Athens.